Why is it that, throughout history, so many kings go mad? Is it simply illness? Or is there something in the very nature of absolute power and the isolation it brings that pushes rulers to the brink? Today, we will explore the pressures, traumas, and genetic legacies that shape the minds of monarchs, and ask whether the cycle has truly ended, or if history is bound to repeat itself. Absolute power is not just a privilege. It is a burden few can comprehend. Monarchs lived with the constant pressure of life and death decisions, war, and political betrayal. Every alliance was fragile. Every whisper at court could mean conspiracy. The human mind, no matter how disciplined, can falter under that weight. King Charles VI of France, for example, was known to suffer mental breakdowns after traumatic events. One, during a military campaign, left him convinced he was made of glass. His reign became a tragic balance between lucidity and madness. Royal families often married within a small pool of noble blood, believing it preserved their dynasty. In truth, it also preserved genetic vulnerabilities. Some illnesses, like porphyria, suspected in King George III of Britain, could trigger both physical agony and severe mental disturbance. Yet, genetics alone do not tell the full story. Not every mad ruler inherited their affliction, but the risks were magnified when the same blood ran in the same veins for generations. Ruling a kingdom placed monarchs in a world apart, physically safe but socially cut off. Courtiers told them what they wanted to hear. Enemies hid in the shadows. Over time, isolation distorts reality. Without challenge or balance, decisions become more erratic, paranoia grows, and empathy fades. Roman Emperor Caligula began his reign as a promising young ruler. But surrounded by sycophants and conspirators, his paranoia deepened. Soon, cruelty became his signature. Public executions, bizarre spectacles, and a reign so feared that his own guards ended it with a sword. Caligula, 3741 AD, infamous for extravagance, perversion, and cruelty. His short reign ended in assassination by his own Praetorian Guard. Charles VI of France, 1380-1422, suffered repeated episodes of psychosis, alternating with periods of clarity, leaving France politically fractured. Henry VI of England, 1422-1471. Known for passivity and episodes of mental collapse, his weakness helped ignite the Wars of the Roses. He was eventually murdered in the Tower of London. Ivan IV, the Terrible, 1533-1584. Scarred by a violent childhood, he became brilliant yet brutal, his paranoia culminating in massacres and personal violence. He died suddenly, possibly poisoned. George III of Britain, 1760-1820. Repeated bouts of mental illness, likely linked to porphyria, left him incapacitated for much of his later reign. The king who lost America spent his final decade in darkness. Rudolph II, Holy Roman Emperor, 1576-1612. Obsessed with alchemy and the occult, withdrawing from governance as his eccentricities deepened into instability. Nabonidus of Babylon, 6th century BC, believed by some to be the mad king of biblical description, withdrawing into seclusion and neglecting his empire. We cannot know for certain what afflicted many of these rulers. Historical accounts were written through the lens of politics, propaganda, and fear. A king's madness might be genuine, or a weaponized narrative to justify rebellion. Without medical records, we are left with fragments, a mixture of truth, rumor, and hindsight. For some, madness ended violently. Caligula at the hands of his guards, Henry VI murdered in the Tower. For others, it was a slow descent. George III living a decade in mental darkness. Charles VI alternating between clarity and confusion until natural death. No matter the path, the outcome was often the same: a weakened realm, vulnerable to unrest, rebellion, or foreign threat. History warns us that power without balance corrodes the mind. Isolation, unchecked authority, and the constant shadow of threat can warp even the most brilliant ruler's judgment. While today's leaders may not wear crowns, the pressures and temptations of power remain. We may believe we have moved past the age of mad kings, but the cycle of hubris, paranoia, and downfall is older than recorded history. Kings may fall, but the patterns endure. The question is not whether power can drive a person mad, it is whether we will recognize the signs before history repeats itself. Or is it?